Superstar Dolph Ziggler, Ricochet,
AJ Styles,
Seth freaking Rollins, and this is BrettO Live on YouTube.
What is going on, guys? BrettO Live back with another video, and today we have the Week in Review, episode 111. 111. I cannot believe it. There's been 111 episodes of the Week in Review setup. This is where we go over Raw and SmackDown in a setup style. Tell you guys what happened, tell you what I thought about it. Raw was decent. I absolutely loved two things about this show. I will get into it. We're going to knock the women's stuff out first, and then we're going to get into the men's stuff. Starting over here was a Beat the Clock challenge. It was Rhea Ripley versus Nikki Cross. Oh, what? Nikki Cross actually getting a match on Monday Night Raw. I thought this was pretty cool. As far as the match goes, it was a Beat the Clock challenge. So basically, that just means that Nikki Cross is a complete jobber, and she just needs to last 2 minutes in order to beat Rhea Ripley. So she's not really beating her. So this was kind of depressing, watching Nikki Cross be out there. I mean, she did win. She survived the 2 minutes, but when she won, it was like, oh, I feel so bad because he didn't really pin her. It was just a Beat the Clock challenge. But she still does have a win over Rhea Ripley, the Raw Women's Champion. So that's something to brag about. That was just okay. Right after that, it moved right into Charlotte versus Asuka. A frickin' again. I gotta be honest with you guys. I don't lie to you guys. I had to fast forward this match. I could not sit through a friggin' another match between Asuka and Charlotte. I really could not. I heard it was an okay match, and Charlotte ended up reversing the Asuka lock into a pinning maneuver, and then she was able to pick up the victory. I could care less. Please, no more of these two. I cannot stand them in the ring together. I don't know if that's just me. I really don't know if that's just me, but I cannot stand it. Moving over here, main event of the show. Very odd. I really think Riddle and Xavier Woods could have main evented this show. But Shayna and Nia versus Natalya and Tamina, another rematch for the women's tag team championships. Another freaking rematch. Oh my god. In the end, well, basically, Shayna Baszler told Reginald not to get involved. I know that's Virgil. I'm just kind of using him as Reginald. But she told Reginald not to come out, otherwise they're going to fight. And Reginald did end up coming out, and he was the cause of the loss. The pyrotechnic issue went off, according to Corey Graves, and then it blinded Reginald again, distracted him, and then they lost. Thought this was really lousy work right here. Very similar to what happened a couple weeks ago, I think it was. I just could not care less. And then basically Shayna just said, me and you are fighting next week. You're going to make us lose our titles. We're fighting next week, me and you. I could care less. Moving over here, I believe it was the opening match of the show. It was Drew McIntyre versus Kofi Kingston. Winner faces Bobby Lashley at the Cell for the WWE Championship. This was a decent match. Not the worst chemistry between Kofi Kingston and Drew McIntyre. I thought they did pretty decent in the ring. All the way up until the ending, we saw Bobby Lashley and MVP rush the ring and hit both Drew McIntyre and Kofi Kingston at the same time, so there's no decisive winner. So basically, I believe they're just going to fight again next week, and then the winner faces Lashley at the Cell. But if Lashley gets involved, then he's suspended without pay or something. So that's kind of dumb. They could have just given us a winner here. I really could care less for another match next week. But yeah, they're going to have another match next week. No winner. It was just okay. Moving over here, it was AJ Styles versus Jackson Riker, and this was just bull crap, to be honest. Elias was able to cheat and hit AJ Styles as the heel again, so AJ and Omos are basically faces now, which is very odd, as the tag champions. But yeah, Elias was able to hit him, and then Elias hid behind the barricade, and then Riker was able to hit his finisher because Omos got distracted by Elias, and then Riker was able to pin a former WWE champion, former Intercontinental champion, former United States champion, current Raw tag team champion with a super basic maneuver. I forgot what he hit him with, but it was nothing crazy, and AJ just got pinned. I was like, you've got to be kidding. You've got to be freaking kidding me right now. I hated this so much. Okay, I did laugh literally so hard when Omos, the camera angle, when Omos just appeared above the barricade like this. Okay, that was freaking hilarious, and I loved that. But as far as everything else goes, I hated it. Moving over here, it was a rematch between Humberto Carrillo and Sheamus. Another match where I could care less to see the match again and again and again and again. They did add a different spin onto the ending, which was pretty cool. Ricochet got involved. I don't really know who won the match. It might have been a disqualification for Humberto Carrillo. But yeah, anyways, there was basically no winner, I guess. And then Ricochet just helped Humberto Carrillo, and then they both took out Sheamus. And I'm like, okay, not the worst thing on the show, that's for sure. We're going to save that. Moving over here, Shelton Benjamin versus Cedric Alexander. I absolutely loved this so much. Cedric pulled off a promo before the match even began. It was just making so much sense. Bringing up the Hurt Business, bringing up MVP, bringing up how Shelton Benjamin dried up, which he is not. But yeah, this was just amazing. Even the match was good. And then we had the ending where Cedric Alexander was able to beat Shelton Benjamin. So basically it's 1-1. Because if I remember right, Shelton does have a win over Cedric. And now Cedric has a win over Shelton. So I really hope this doesn't end. Because I freaking love it. Moving over here, definitely should have been the main event. Like I already said, this was amazing. Definitely one of Xavier Woods' best matches of his career. I never really look forward to Xavier Woods matches. But he pulled this one out of the bags. Dude, this was amazing. Matt Riddle versus Xavier Woods, one-on-one, awesome match. So many callbacks, so many good moves from Xavier. In the end, the final spot of the match was so awesome. It was just, they were just, okay, I'm gonna chop you, I'm gonna punch you, and then an RKO out of nowhere by Matt Riddle. What the crap? Literally out of nowhere. I was like, what? Literally an RKO out of nowhere by Matt Riddle to Xavier Woods. I could not believe it. It was freaking epic when he did it, of course. And then right after that, he's like, that was for you, Randy. I laughed so hard. I'm like, yes, let's go. From right when Riddle debuted, and I'm like, oh, I cannot stand this guy. But right when he started hopping with Randy Orton, I'm like, oh, I like this guy now, man. This is really good. I love that. Should have been the main event, in my opinion. But yes, guys, that was Monday Night Raw in a setup style. Really hope you guys enjoyed the vid. Yes, guys, that was Monday Night Raw in the setup style, like you guys always love. And yeah, Raw this week, it's probably gonna get a 2 out of 5 from me. In my opinion, the bad stuff outweighed the good stuff. If it wasn't for Riddle and Woods and Cedric and Shelton, this show would have just been a dumpster fire. But yeah, it's getting a 2 out of 5 because of those two matches. I just loved it so much. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments down below for Monday Night Raw. And of course, continuing the week in review here with SmackDown. SmackDown was an okay show. Such a freaking strong start to this show. Usos, Street Profits opened up the show. It was like, oh my god, this show's looking to be amazing. But then right after that match, downfall. Literally downfall. We're going to jump into it right now. Starting over here, like I said, opening match of the night, it was Street Profits versus the Usos. They've been hyping this up all week, and oh my god, did both teams deliver or what? They both did a promo before the match, talking about like how they're gonna win, how they have the momentum. I'm like, oh, this is so freaking good. Jay's like, don't mention Roman like that. I'm like, oh, this is good. Oh my gosh, I'm so hyped. The match happened, freaking amazing. Jimmy and Jay had each other's backs the entire time. I freaking loved this match so much. Jimmy and Jay, they were working like it. They just had a match the other day. It doesn't even feel like they've been like not together for a year. It feels like they were wrestling just the other day. The way that they were wrestling in the ring, it was just amazing. Not really the biggest fan of the Street Profits, but honestly, mad respect for them after this match. They did an amazing job. Hats off to all of them. In the end, we did see the Usos pick up the victory. I was honestly a little shocked. I thought they were going to go the route where Jimmy and Jay can't work well with each other, but no, they didn't, and the Usos were able to pick up the victory. I freaking loved it. And next week, believe it or not, they're going to be facing the Mysterios for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, which is insane. So I'm definitely excited for that. Should be freaking awesome. But yeah, anyways, freaking love the opening match. Moving over here. Hey, at least we didn't see King Corbin versus Shinsuke Nakamura for a third time. This week, it was Shinsuke Nakamura versus Chad Gable in a one-on-one match. Rick Boogs did Shinsuke's entrance again, and Shinsuke ended up winning the match. I'm like, okay, that was really nothing. And then King Corbin come out, stole the crown, and then Shinsuke was able to get it back with the help of Rick Boogs. I'm like, okay, this is stupid. I found that to be complete garbage. Moving over here, this was Seth Rollins' promo, basically just saying how last week, how he attacked Cesaro. It's not his fault. His hands are clean. It's the WWE Universe's fault and Cesaro's fault himself. Yeah, that honestly just a bunch of bullcrap. He's the one that beat the crap out of him, so how is it not his fault? So that didn't really make sense, but he was dripping. He looked pretty good. I enjoyed that promo, not gonna lie. They're definitely gonna be fighting at the cell, maybe even inside of the cell if this rivalry gets heated enough. So yeah, I think that's pretty solid. Moving over here, it was the Riot Squad versus Natalya and Tamina. This tag match was pretty lame. Tamina was able to hit a frog splash. I think it might have been on Ruby. Yeah, it was on Ruby Riot, and then they just won the match. It's kind of boring. Moving over here, it was Kevin Owens versus Apollo Crews. Another just boring thing on this show. Well, when they announced it, I'm like, ooh, Kevin versus Apollo. They just had an amazing Fatal 4-Way match last week. This should be good. Kevin Owens dominated. I think it was like a 2-minute match. Kevin Owens was dominating, hit the stunner. I'm like, oh my god, he's about to pin him 1, 2, 3. And then Aziz just did the Nigerian nail from the outside disqualification. I'm like, okay, that just proves that Apollo Crews can't win a match by himself. Great. Showing that he's strong, I guess. Not really. Obviously sarcasm, but yeah. What the crap? And then Kevin Owens just gets granted an IC title match for next week. I'm like, what? Why didn't we just get that tonight? Whatever. Moving back here, it was Bianca Bellaire versus Carmella, and this match was just another match where I'm just like, okay. We did have Bayley on commentary, and yeah, nearing the end, this was hilarious, I gotta admit. Michael Cole basically said, wait, did he say Belanca into the cover, and then Bayley's like, you idiot, Belanca. Okay, I actually started laughing. That was actually kind of funny. Okay, Bayley, I don't normally give her credit, but that was actually kind of funny. And then basically Bianca Belair just hit the KOD on Carmella and won the match, and then stared down Bayley. Kind of lame. Moving over here, main event of the show, it was the Dirty Dogs. Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, the former tag champs, going up against Rey Mysterio and Dominic. And very interesting, not Dominic. Rey Mysterio actually got attacked before this match, and the Dirty Dogs said no, it wasn't us. And it's pretty interesting because the Dirty Dogs were already out in the ring when they showed footage of Rey Mysterio backstage on the floor. So I'm like, oh, it might have not been the Dirty Dogs. Could have been the Usos. We don't know. Yeah, I don't really think it was the Dirty Dogs. But yeah, the match itself of course, Dominic won it alone because Rey Mysterio got attacked, and then Rey Mysterio's music hit, and then Dominic was able to pick up the victory via distraction. I'm like, okay, that was kind of stupid. But yeah, they retained the tag titles, and next week it will be the Mysterios versus the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. I'm like, oh my god, we're setting up for an amazing SmackDown next week. We got an IC title match, tag title match. It's gonna be freaking epic. But yeah, not a half bad way to end the show. Leaving us with a cliffhanger. Who attacked Rey Mysterio? Was it the Usos? Was it the Dirty Dogs? Not sure. But yeah, not a bad way to end the show. But yeah, guys, that was SmackDown setup style. Really hope you guys enjoyed. In the end, I'm probably gonna give SmackDown a solid 2 out of 5. It was a pretty good show. The only good stuff I thought was good that came out of this show was the Usos and Roman Reigns. That was basically the only good stuff about this show. Otherwise, it was pretty garbage. But yes, guys, that has been the week in review. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to go watch AEW Friday night, and I'll see you guys next time. BrettO Live out.